Hey everybody, this is Alan Fine. I'm here with Richard Valter, founder of Muse. And so we're going to find out all about Muse. It automates and simplifies operations for hospitality brands, and we're going to learn what it means when a hotel thinks about the room as the center, but now it's really the guest that's the center, and we're going to really explain that here on Insider Travel Report. A hotelier, you were a hotelier, and you saw a need.
Yeah, well, I like to call myself a recovering hotelier. I feel like I've been down that path that a lot of hoteliers have been, where it's like, they interact with the technology and they go like, oh my God, who was this built by? And then I had the stupid idea of kind of saying like, well, maybe I could do a better job. And my dad was a programmer, so I've always been like quite close to it. Stupidly, almost 13 years ago, I made the fateful decision to start a hotel tech company as well. So yeah.
So I mean, you basically, it's a cloud-based system, and look, business travel is a lot of data, and how do you keep track of it? So you tell us how you bridge the problem for us.
Well, I think that we were born in the cloud, and I think one of the things that you kind of understand about cloud technology, and I think most people do at this point, is that you're not constrained by the amount of information that you can actually kind of store. So actually what you're trying to do is, rather than minimize the amount of data because you're just trying to get somebody checked in and get them out of your hair as quickly as you can, you're actually thinking about like, what is the best way that I can actually get as much data about this person so I can serve them better, in the best way, in the way that the best concierges basically have traditionally done that they've really understood who that customer is, basically, in the way that the best travel planners have been able to actually service that customer to say like, actually, I know who this person is, what they're trying to do, and I'm going to actually create the best kind of experience. And I think that technology, and especially cloud technology, is able to do that in a much more scalable way than we've ever been able to do that. So being able to be born in the cloud, being able to think in terms of big data, has been a huge advantage for us.
So when a travel advisor is booking a fantastic trip for their client, and they're picking which hotels, because that's what they do. They have a value in trying to filter, and then they're starting to work with a hotel. If that hotel is working with you, that travel advisor is going to have a better experience for their client, because they're going to have access to all of this data that will make these little touches feel luxurious. True or false?
True, and I think that there's kind of two aspects to it. One is because of the way that we think about space, and because of the way that we think about actually having our system represent the entire property or the entire resort, rather than just thinking about what are the rooms like. That's really where you actually see the power of having the entire property basically on a singular system. So it's not about having your event or something like that, and just getting data from the PMS basically that just says, okay, the rooms are like this. To a certain extent, a travel planner is going to actually want every single bit of information, and if you're able to actually provide all of that information through a booking engine, through a really, really interesting interface, pretty soon we'll be communicating with different AI agents that are able to actually kind of say what is the matching of this to that customer. I feel like those are the types of things where you do need a modern PMS to actually kind of think in this big data way. And again, our architecture really, really thinks about it from the perspective of how do we encapsulate this entire property, not just what the room is like.
But this takes us back to the opening thing, which was the room isn't the center anymore, it's the client. And so let's talk about it that way.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's, you want to know, if you're a travel planner, if you're a professional, you want to know what types of people actually come to this hotel. What do they like doing? What types of things can you tell me about, what are the great experiences that somebody else has had, and actually advertise those. And I think that's something that's been missing from the hotel industry, that we've been really, really bad at kind of pattern matching. We've been really, really bad at kind of saying, this is why this is really good. And that's, the best travel planners are able to actually kind of do that they know a property really, really well. And that's why, if you're a travel planner, you're really you'll have a favorite property because you know that they won't let you down. You know that the breadth of services that hotel is going to be able to actually offer is exactly what they're saying. That, you know, you'll have that trust. And I think it's, you know, for us, it's just really, really important to actually kind of make sure that that trust is able to be echoed throughout different types of properties, basically, and so that the person who's actually kind of making that booking, whether it's an individual or it's a travel planner, can actually feel that trust, basically, that these are the types of services, and I know that there's a system behind it that's going to make sure that all of those, all of those asks are actually being answered.
Now, you said something really interesting just now on stage, which is that with AI, and I'm assuming you're using it as well, that the supply is talking to the demand. Explain that.
Well, like, I think that the old model has been, like, I'm calling a reservations manager and I'm hoping it's the good reservation manager who's able to actually tell me about all the different kind of services, and that they have even a kind of business brain that's able to kind of tell me, okay, actually you can have these types of services, and basically this is the way that we would configure it for this type of customer. Now, again, you have different types of reservations managers. Some are good, some are great, some are not so good. And being able to actually kind of have that taken out of the human hands, being able to actually kind of make sure that this is something that the kind of the supply in that sense is actually kind of talking back. Right. Because it's live, because it's an actual AI agent that's able to actually, talk in this way, really, really report what is in the inventory, really understand, what is there, and having that kind of standardized to always the highest degree, I think is just going to actually, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to actually unlock so many different opportunities that people have within travel, and I feel like that's really the super exciting case of what we can actually kind of do with technology. Okay.
And to wrap up, we go out to 128,000 travel advisors and many, many thousand suppliers. What's your message to them?
I think my message is, be excited about, what technology will actually kind of bring. I think for all of them, it should be about embracing technology. I feel like in this industry, we've taken a pretty dim view of what technology can do for us. And I think that, if you really embrace AI, if you really embrace new technologies that are out there, if you're actually also kind of pressuring hotels to upgrade their own tech stack, for the better of their, of their businesses, I feel like, we will create a much better world, a much more profitable world, basically, through all of these things. And
as a follow-up, now pitch Muse to those to those hotels.
Well, I think, I think, for too long, people have basically kind of thought about technology in the same way of I don't want to get fired for just choosing something that exists, and there's very many systems that have basically kind of been there, they've done the things, and they've been able to kind of speak to the financial controllership of these hotels, that that they're essentially you won't make a mistake, and I think it's about actually kind of being bold. It's about embracing new technology. It's about actually kind of saying technology is an enabler for the future of travel, and I think with that you have to embrace new technology partners, and actually kind of embrace the future of where this industry is actually going to.
So let me follow up with just saying that what makes Muse different than your competitors?
Well, I think it's our unique architecture, the way that we actually think about the holistic picture of a hotel, of an entire brand, and I think it's the fact that we were born in the cloud. We're really, it is something where we're not just trying to
adapting something and having the problems of the old legacy model.
Like for us, it's really about kind of trying to imagine what travel can be, and I think that's the level of creativity that you want out of the supply that you're going to be working with.
Richard, thank you for talking to us.
Thanks so much.
And this is Alan Fine for Insider Travel Report.